Damn's down, damn it down.
You cheated.
Yeah, I gotta be proactive. Yeah, I gotta call out my cheating before I even do it, eh, Schism? Listen, if you want to see cheating, you should have seen when I was playing Mario Party yesterday. Oh no, actually the day before. That was cheating. How's it going, Schism? Speaking of Mario Party, bro, I see your luck has not changed in the slightest. Oh, I'm so sorry, man. Mario Party just hates you for some reason. And we have no idea why. But it's good to see you, man. What's up? Well, we're not going to be doing any cheating today. We're just going to be doing some investigating. We already finished the case 3 yesterday in court, so now we're starting off with the new case. Twisted Karma in his last bow.
Pipe in hand, Sholmes looked down at the thick, rolling fog outside our window. I wonder exactly how many mysteries are out there, hidden within this bed of fog, he said. Indeed, a most bizarre incident, born of a curious advertisement. A hellhound's mad gallop through the shadows of a serial murder, an executed man's graveyard resurrection in the dead of night. And a commonplace killing in a small, forgotten room at the edge of town. There is, naturally, always another side to every case, of which most remain ignorant. And it is that other side which compels me to the scene of the crime, Wilson. So quickly now, take your hat and let's be on our way, my dear fellow. For our adventure is not over yet. Come, the game is afoot.
Wonder what this case is going to entail exactly. 8 days after that earth-shattering trial, and Cosima regained his memory. We were in the foyer of one of London's most luxurious hotels, the Great Waterloo Hotel. 1st November, 10:24 a.m., Great Waterloo Hotel foyer. Professor Mikitova is due to arrive any moment. Yes, I'm so glad we got here in time. Caesar's son hasn't been the same since what happened. Not that I'm surprised. The truth about Kazuma-sama's father. Do you suppose my father knew? That he was actually the mass murderer of the professor, you mean? I knew that's what she was thinking about. There's a good chance, I'd say. I mean, they did come into London together 16 years ago, didn't they? Yes, that's true. Come to think of it, didn't you say that Professor Mikitoba knew about Kazuma going missing in Hong Kong as well? That's right, but for some reason he wasn't at liberty to talk to me about it. That probably means he knows then about Kazuma showing up here in London with amnesia, and that he's regained his memory now. But how? Ah, there she is. Oh! Hi! Oh, Father! Hello, Suzuto. How are you? I'm very well, thank you. We're delighted you've arrived safe and sound. Hello, Mr. Naruhodo. Very kind of you to take the trouble to meet us here. Oh, no, not at all. It's my pleasure. We've heard all about your extraordinary exploits here in London, you know. The news has crossed the seas. It has? I always look forward to reading the monthly papers that arrive with the steamships from Britain. Oh, I see. Well, thank you very much. Who is this man? And why do I feel as though I've seen him somewhere, seen him before? I take it from your expression that you can't quite place me. In that case, how about a little reminder, Sashiro? A firm tap should do it. Yes. A firm tap? What? Here we go, then. I hereby pronounce the defendant, Rinosuke Naruhodo, guilty. Oh, he's the judge from Japan. What's he doing here? Ah. Oh, you're... Yep. The court will now hear the trial of Rinosuke Naruhodo. Your Excellency. Hello, Judge Jigoku. How are you? It's been a long time. Oh, that's right. I forgot, like, at the end of Suzuto's trial, I actually talked to her for a bit. Ha 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 ha. Good, you remembered now. that really did the trick. Guilty! Only I was declared not guilty, wasn't I? And there was no laughing at the time. So, London again after all this time. Hard to believe it's been 10 years. To be honest, I never thought I'd be back. Neither did I. I didn't imagine Japan would be invited for an international symposium like this. Though really, I doubt anyone did, to be honest. It's all thanks to you, isn't it, Sashiro? What are you talking about, Yujin? Of course, Judge Jigoku. He must complete the set. He's the other man who, 16 years ago, came to London with Kazuma's father and Professor Mikotoba. He's the third visiting scholar. Well, all those passports checks and luggage searches at the border took rather a lot of time. I must say, I'm very envious of your ministerial status. You didn't have to go through any of that, did you? Ah, I knew you were jealous. Sorry, ministerial status? Yes, didn't you know? Sashiro here is also Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs. It was his personal insistence that allowed you to take Kazuma's place here on the study tour. Guilty as charged. Oh, well, thank you very much. He's really every bit as important as he looks. Ah, yes now, Naruhodo. Received a telegram from Lord Strongheart yesterday. Oh, you did? It appears that some things came to light in a trial you were involved with 8 days ago. About what happened 10 years ago. That tragedy. Yes, could you tell us any more about it? Alright. So, how was the voyage here? Well, 50 days at sea is a long time by anyone's standards. But it wasn't as bad as when we first came here 16 years ago. No, that's true. Then I truly wondered if we wouldn't be drifting in the vast ocean for the rest of our lives. This time we followed the same route as you, so we were able to relax and enjoy the experience. 50 days, good lord. So you stopped in France's beautiful capital, Paris? We did, yes. Though only for one night. And yesterday evening we left the port of Dunkirk for Dover. Just in time for the symposium, in fact. It starts tomorrow. It's wonderful that you were invited to attend such an important international event. I'm very proud of you, Father. Aw. It's thanks to Sashiro here. 16 years ago, he managed to integrate himself with Britain's Attorney General. I'm sure that's why he was invited. I suppose you could say the same. I'm something of an appendage by default. Speak for yourself, Eugen. You were close friends with a professor of forensic science at a major hospital. I wonder who that would be. Yes, well, I'd rather not dredge all that up, really. No, there's been a lot of water under the bridge since then, but it doesn't bring him back. Oh, Kazuma's father, I suppose. Well, let's talk about him. The professor, the killer who took the lives of 5 members of the British aristocracy. He was actually Kazuma's father, wasn't he? That's correct. Genshin Asogi. Genshin. Genshin Impact? You knew, I presume, Father? Yes, he was a close friend at the time. Genshin came to Britain as a police detective. He was studying investigative techniques at Scotland Yard. I never understood what drove the man to commit such heinous acts. It was a closed trial, so the public never knew the truth, and he was executed with little ado. To this day, very few people know what really happened, even in our homeland. But what about Kazuma? Did he know? Did he know the truth about his father? No, of course not. He was told his father passed from sickness. However, I suspect he may have had his doubts. Oh, why? As you know, I tried to guide Kazuma growing up, as if he were my own son. Then one day, he came to my office at the university and said, "I've decided. I want to travel to Great Britain and study there." Do you think he wanted to come here to investigate his father's death? I don't know. But when I looked into his eyes, I did know there was no way I'd be able to stop him. Something else came to light in the trial the other day, actually. Oh? What? Well, having disappeared in Hong Kong and been missing for almost a year, Kazuma has since turned up here in London, working as the apprentice of Lord Van Zeeks. What? What? That's news to us. So, Lord Strongheart's telegram neglected to mention that part then. As you know, we both thought Kazuma had died on the steamship during our voyage to Great Britain in January. But he didn't die. He's alive. As you knew, didn't you, Father? In actual fact, no. What I did know is that when your ship docked in Hong Kong, he mysteriously vanished. We sent a team of investigators to Hong Kong to try to ascertain what had happened, but to no avail. But he's still alive, here in London, you say? I never dared to even dream it. Why on earth did the young man not make contact? The government and the police have been chasing clues fruitlessly for months now. Well, it seems that he was suffering from amnesia. What? Amnesia? When we first came across him again here in London, he didn't know who either of us were. I see. He only regained his memory 8 days ago. This is unbelievable. Yes, it's quite miraculous. Wonder why Lord Strongheart didn't let us know. I must speak with him urgently. Wonder how Kazuma's been these past few days. Would it be wrong of us to go and visit him? Have we not talked to him at all since that trial ended? That'd kind of be important to do, not gonna lie. That began 16 years ago now. It's a distant memory, really. It was Yujin here, Genshin Asogi, and myself. We were the original 3. The first judicial scholars from Japan to travel overseas to study. Ocean voyages were not what they are today, I could tell you. 16 years ago, things were really tough for their generation. Your father was an exceptionally fine medical student at Yume University at the time, you know, young lady. Yes, grandmother told me. He went to do research at a great London hospital to study autopsy. Practically unheard of in Japan. Yes, it's an eerie place, sandwiched between the back of a prison and a burial ground. Not more talk of graves. Very often, there's no one willing to deal with the bodies following autopsy work. So you see, autopsy labs have something of an unavoidable relationship with the graveyards and prisons. Not my cup of tea at all. Do you remember the Scottish prison governor? Caden, his name was. He was a good man. Yes, but then of course, in our 6th year here, everything changed with that dreadful case. Genshin was arrested for a series of most gruesome murders. I simply couldn't believe it. I've known the man for years. I was a witness at the secret hearing, and I tried to speak in his defense, but... You went a little too far and ended up facing charges yourself, didn't you? Well, suffice to say that after that trial we were sent back to Japan. There was nothing more we could do to save Genshin. He was a lost cause, sadly. Aww. Well, if you'll excuse us now. Yes, I'd like to get this trunk up to my room as soon as possible. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have held you up here for so long. I'll call for the porter then. Just wait here. Suzuki-san's gone off on a run. I'd like to stay here and talk more, but I do have various preparations to make for tomorrow. Yes, of course. It must be a big responsibility representing our entire country. I wish you the best of luck. Naruhodo. I hope you keep an eye on Suzuto for me. Keep looking after her as you obviously have been. Oh no, I mean, if anyone's looking after anyone, it's her looking after me. Well, I do appreciate you being there for her, after all. I've been a miserable father to her. I've thoroughly let her down. Sorry? What do you mean? Well, it was 16 years ago that I started my long study tour here in Britain, as you know. The very year Suzuto was born. Yes, I heard. The birth of my daughter was the most joyous event of my life, but... well, sadly it was accompanied by the most tragic event of my life, too. Oh, yes. Suzuto hinted at something like that. It was a rather turbulent time at home. Anyway, I won't bore you with the details. The point is, I became a rather less dependable than befits a grown man. And it was then that Sashiro offered me the opportunity to study here in Great Britain. I was too worried about you to leave you behind. So perhaps I was a little heavy-handed when it came to persuading you to accompany me to London. So that's what happened in a nutshell. And that's also the reason why I now feel compelled to give my daughter as many opportunities as I dare. Though the world does not readily afford young women such things, I must say. Hi Dom, good luck cracking cases, Dad. Thanks, Captain. I hope Diddy Kong Racing went pretty well for you earlier. You speedrun it? When are we gonna have an official speedrun? We need like the timer and everything. You know how like they have the speedrun the sections for like each section in the game? We need to see how fast you can beat it. Did we end up doing 100%? Nice. Well done. Need to figure out how to make that, Dad. I'm pretty sure there's a tutorial out there somewhere. Oh, I don't know. Maybe you might move on to another game after Diddy Kong Racing. I know you've played it quite a bit with pretty much every character at this point. But nice to see you regardless. Hope you're having a good day. I completely understand, Professor. Cam would be cracked for it. Dude, have you seen him play Diddy Kong Racing? It's crazy. Also, hi Jay, how are you? I assume you're at work today? Another thing, Naruhodo. If I may be so bold, I have a favor to ask you. Oh, really? Of course. What can I do for you? Well, the thing is, I'm sorry that took so long. Miss Suzuto. Now then, allow us to take your bags. Allow me to take your bags. Hey, I remember you. That guy's from like the first case I came here in Britain for. One moment, if you please, Porter. Yes, I've seen him play. Yeah, at work lurking. I see. Of course, sir. That machine around your neck. It's a camera, I believe. Quite right, sir. Just 5 shillings for a lovely photograph to commemorate a wonderful stay at the hotel, sir. Well, I think given the occasion, we could justify the expense. Yes. Yes, of course. Dang. 2 of us look like serious. Suzuto's like the only one smiling in that photo. I'd like to thank you for coming with me, Mr. Naruhodo. You really made Father happy, I think. Oh, well, I'm pleased then. But we were interrupted before. Yeah, what was he gonna tell me? Professor Mikatoba was about to ask me something. Shall we return to Baker Street, then? I expect Iris will have some delicious tea waiting for us. Yes, let's go. Alright, I guess we're done here, then. I'm getting more and more anxious about Kazuma, though. Yeah, where is he at? Perhaps I'll try to meet up with Lord Strongheart later and ask after him. Okay. Oh, I guess we could do either or. Alright. You know what, let's go poke our head in here real quick. Oh. 1st November, British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. Here's the final draft of the opening address for tomorrow's proceedings. Oh, Van Ziegs is just chilling here. I've supplemented your original with the figures you asked from the yard. I see. Excellent work. Thank you. You're welcome, my lord. What's Lord Van Ziegs doing here? My, there seems to be an awful lot of tension in the air, wouldn't you say? This place is stifling enough as it is. You really don't need any more tension. Oh, he sees us. Hi. My apologies, I didn't see you come in. Your small stature and dark dress make you all but visible to me. Oh, no, it's entirely my fault for wearing black, I'm sure. From now on, you must dress in white from head to toe whenever you come in here. I feel like that'd be really eye-piercing, but alright. Now then, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, my lord, I'm right here. Kill me now. Is there something wrong? Perhaps it's a little too hot in here for you. Oh, no, not at all. I mean, I've never experienced a room at such perfect temperature. If you're sure, the beads of sweat carving their way down your face seem to suggest otherwise. Because of the daggers you're staring at me with, mainly. As you're no doubt aware, my International Forensic Science Symposium begins tomorrow. In fact, your father arrived in London earlier today, I hear, madam. Oh, yes, that's right, my lord. He's extremely honored to have been invited. I'll leave the small remaining preparations for the meeting in your capable hands then, Lord Van Ziegs. I will attend at once. He gave you a very cold stare as he left, didn't he? I know, but I haven't done anything, have I? Yeah, he gave me a cold death stare as he left. These past few days, my feet have barely touched the ground, I must say. My dedicated right hand of many years was recently put out of action in spectacular fashion. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is your left hand still of service? Mr. Naruhodo, he's talking about Dr. Scythe. Oh, right. I kinda called her out and put her in jail. My bad. Of course. I'm terribly sorry about that. I was just, Fear not, you've done nothing wrong. Dr. Scythe's own wrongdoing precipitated the situation. You needn't concern yourself with it any further. That would be a lot easier to do if it weren't for the piercing stare you're giving me. Lord Van Ziegs is doing an admirable job of holding on the fort. Cam, thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate it. 16 months. Oh, Cam, speaking of, are you excited for the new Mario and Luigi coming out? It's almost here, just a couple more weeks. It's on the horizon for sure. I can't wait to play it. It would be kind of streams where these streams are in the morning. Yeah, that's the problem with me. I also work in the morning, so like if it's not on my day off, I can't stop by either. I tried to. Can't wait. I'm gonna definitely be streaming that game. Are you gonna plan on doing it too? Finally, Mario and Luigi coming back to Switch, baby. Though disturbingly, his apprentice has been missing since yesterday. Oh, Cosmo's been missing. I see, that's why we haven't been seeing him. Oh, missing? What's become of Cosmo-sama now? Okay, let's talk about the symposium real quick. Not long ago, visitor numbers to the Great Exhibition exceeded 30 million. 30 million? Are there even that many people in the world? As a comparison, Mr. Naruhodo, the population of the imperial capital Tokyo is 2 million. I will be opening the International Forensic Science Symposium in the exhibition's main auditorium. This event has been 2 years in the making. 2 years of preparations and negotiations with other countries. It sounds like a tremendous achievement. Congratulations! The 20th century will see this wholesale adoption of forensic investigation techniques. And cooperation between policing organizations around the globe will be essential. Which is why the first landmark of the first symposium had to be hosted here in the heart of our great British Empire. In order that Scotland Yard can become the leading investigative organization in the New World. He's the same as ever, I see. That passion of his is quite something. You're every bit of as passionate as you're in your own way, I'm sure, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm the only person in this country who truly cares about a future that embraces forensic science. It was my intention to become Her Majesty's Attorney General and reform the Yard from the ground up. So the disgrace of the forensic investigation team has been a bitter blow to my ambitions. Yeah, my bad. I first established the forensic investigation team a year ago, experimentally to start with. With Dr. Saya at the helm, it was steadily occurring an impressive record of achievement. I was on the verge of changing the name and elevating its status to a full-blown forensic investigation department. And can you not do that now? Obviously, nobody wants to hear anything about it at the moment. Even I can't keep this story out of the papers. 6 million Londoners will be cursing forensic science now. This incident will set back our country's advancement in the field by a good 10 years, I'd say. Unintended repercussions of our trial. Whoops. We simply couldn't have overlooked what had happened, though. Of course not. We should all be grateful to you both. Anyway, I'll still reform this country's policing when I become Attorney General. This might delay my plans, but it won't alter them. Nothing will stand in my way. Yep, still as passionate as ever. About Lord Van Zeek's apprentice. Yes, that came as a surprise to me, I must say. That you and he are old friends. How did he become an apprentice to Lord Van Zeek's in the first place? It came about 3 months ago. An identified Asian man was apprehended by our border police. They found him hiding aboard a large goods vessel. Oh my, so he stowed away to get here. He had no papers to identify him, no passport, and he was suffering from amnesia too. Other than the fact he was clearly of Eastern descent, there was no clues as to who he was. So I decided to assign him to Lord Van Zeek's. That way I could keep an eye on him. But then, why the mask? I didn't want to burden Lord Van Zeek's with some tiresome explanations about why he had an Eastern appearance. Because it would be so much easier to explain why he was wearing a mask? He was proven to be a great help to Lord Van Zeek's. I have high hopes for his future. I know I try my best not to overlap streams with others. I appreciate it when you pop by nonetheless. It is definitely hard to do, especially now, because I know a lot of people I know have set schedules, and then I used to have one, and then it's just like all over the place. But yeah, no, I get the feeling, and I'm sure Jay does too. He tries his best. But still, I like us all hanging out whenever we can. By the way, do you know where he's gone? No idea. I believe he left for London. He's left London for the time being. Oh. I take it you also didn't know that the man's father was one of our country's most infamous criminals, I mean. Genshin Asogi. What we learned from that trial 8 days ago was a huge shock. Finding out my friend's father was... Hello, my dear fellow. As I can see, it seems that I am not anywhere to be seen. Yeah, where are you, Sholmes? I haven't seen you yet in this case yet. We're getting there. Man, I can't believe we have the famous Herlock Sholmes in my chat. Awesome. That's what I've been waiting for. Yo, I love your dance of deduction. I'm a big fan. How's it going? Yes, Genshin Asogi. The Herlock Sholmes is following me. Oh my god, this is the best day of my life. Thank you so much. I wonder when you're actually gonna pop up in this case. So far, we've only been to the hotel and to here. We're probably gonna see you back at Iris's place. Ha, indeed. The Professor case 10 years ago caused quite a great stir here in Britain. They were such awful murderers, and unprecedented, using a ferocious dog as a murder weapon. And no one would have believed that the culprit was a foreign student invited to study here by the government. So the true identity of the killer couldn't be made public then, and can't be made public now. Nobody in your country knows it was him, and neither do the citizens of London. The main motivation was to avoid aggravating relations between our two nations at the time, I understand. I see. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Correct. However, it has been noted that there were some supporters of the Professor's apparent case. What? Supporters of a mass murderer? The majority of the man's victims were a blight on the aristocracy of the day. Somewhat ironically, their deaths actually benefited society as a whole. Really now? I saw a few thinkers, a fair few thinkers in London believed anyway. Okay, there's a lot more to this then. Right, I see. But it was still murder, wasn't it? Yeah, murder's still murder, though. It seems very similar, doesn't it? To the idea of the Reaper of the Bailey. That is true. Oh, I guess that's all we have to talk to him about. Alright, Did Van Zeus peace out? Yeah, he did peace out. Alright, he's gone and I don't think I have anything to show you, so you know, we'll head back to Sholmes' suite. Maybe he's chilling over here. 1st November, Sholmes' suite. What? Huh? What was that? A man screaming in a most unflattering way. Do you think it could have been Mr. Sholmes? Oh my, I do hope not. What? Yeah, I don't do it anymore. Mon ami, who are you two? Stop this disgraceful display, huh? Who are these people? And look at their hair. It's bright red. No, this is very eye-piercing red. I think they must be clients of Mr. Sholmes. And Gina's here too. Right, you two. You're coming with me now. Down to the clink. No, not the prison. It's dark and damp and I don't like it. Both the darkness. It is my friend. I am not scared. But you're always scared of the dark. Shut your mouth, you idiot. I will sit quietly in the dark and plan our next daring heist. I don't like this. I don't like it. Well, it's off. We'll finish this down at the yard. Now get moving. What did we stumble in on? Bye then, Genie. Have fun. Iris is as cheerful as ever. Oh yeah, thanks Iris, and thanks, yeah, great detective. Oh, he is here. Gina makes a fine detective herself, doesn't she? Oh, Susie and Reno. Hello, Iris. We're home. Well, did you find your daddy? Yes, we arrived at the hotel just before he and his friend. Oh, well that's great news. I hope I'll get to see my daddy again soon. Yes, of course. Dr. John H. Wilson. Oh, she still doesn't know. Oh, okay, that's gotta be him. So, Iris, all that remains now is the greatest problems known to man. What? Why? Why? Why, Sholmes? Why would you do this? But before we concern ourselves with that, I believe some tea is in order, don't you, my dear fellows? Oh my god. Is there something wrong, Mr. Naruhodo? Do I have a crumb or such like on my face? Not so much as on your face. As on your head, I'd say. What did you do? Come along then, everyone. I brewed a lovely special blend. Time for tea. Whatever is going on here today? In that case, let us sit and drink now. For I am, in fact, expecting a guest later today. Alright, you want to tell me what you did to your hair? And also what those two were doing in your rooms? I have many questions. Mr. Sholmes, who were the two gentlemen that were here before? Oh, just a pair of petty criminals. Nothing of significance. Of course, they have to make a living somehow. And when the mood strikes me, I'm willing to turn a blind eye to all manner of infractions. And when the mood takes you, all manner of infractions. But when such fellows set their sights on Mr. Herlock Sholmes, well, that's when their luck runs out. Oh my, you were the target of a crime, Mr. Sholmes? But I quickly devised a plan to entrap them and deliver them to our young detective ally. You should have asked Gregsy to come too. We could have had an arresting tea party. I did send word, but no answer was forthcoming. The man is conceivably in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's a word for it, I'm sure. Ah, I have it. A bungler, that's the word. It's a good job he's not here to hear you say that. So those redheads have been up to no good? I wonder what the men did. Something tells me he's not going to tell us. What was that about the greatest problems known to man that you mentioned before? Is it another fiendishly intricate case, Mr. Sholmes? How should I best explain it? Are you aware of the theory of evolution by natural selection, perchance? Well, I think I've heard talk of it somewhere. Possibly. It's a revolutionary scientific theory that was newly proposed 40 years ago now. According to its author, Mr. Darwin, we humans were once apes who lived in the treetops. Wait, what? We were apes? Indeed, and from the very moment those apes descended from the canopy to live as humans, it has been our lot to be at the mercy of the greatest problem known to man. Our lot? What is this great problem, Mr. Sholmes? Why, is it not obvious, my dear madam? The problem of rent! He's not wrong, technically. But did you not receive a rather large sum of money from Madame Tuspel's only the other day? Psh, a large sum? One potted herb for Iris and a new motor car for me later, and all of it quite disappeared, I assured you. Honestly, Hurley, you know you squandered it. Bruh. Yes, well anyway, 2 days ago, I discovered the answers to man's greatest problem. For the coming month, at least. What was the answer? Why, there was a substantial clue before your very eyes. Don't tell me. Let me see. Humans are sorry creatures, unable to see what is in front of their noses. Let me give you some assistance. Don't look, but observe me very closely. There's one particular feature about my person that has changed. You should notice it in the end, I think. I think I know what it is. Excuse me. In the end? It's pretty bright. It's been stabbing me in both eyes right in front of... right from the very beginning of our conversation. I think we might need another clue before we uncover the full answer, Mr. Ahodo. Bruh. Oh, Suzuto. Please don't humor him. Thanks for the hint. I'll be tearing my hair out if this charade goes on much longer. The lie you tell. Yeah, why'd you lie about Kazuma? Mr. Sholmes, isn't it about time you told us the truth? Just over a week ago, you said to us... I will now tell you something of the first importance, my dear fellow. Great detectives are wont to lie. It will serve you well to remember that. That case aboard the SS Bura in January, Kazuma wasn't killed, and you knew he wasn't dead at the time. So what was really going on? The fellow was unconscious for a very long time. If he hadn't regained consciousness when he did, his life would have been in mortal peril. Of course, a side effect of the prolonged comatose state was amnesia, as you now know. It was a simple enough task to silence the crew. But how? After they carried him out of the cabin, I assembled them in the lobby area. Then I made them swear to leave him unconscious and have him unlaid from the ship in Hong Kong as a murder corpse. But why? Oh, how horrible. It was necessary to find some material with which to persuade the crewmen to keep their word, of course. But why? Why do it in the first place? I will be at liberty to elaborate in due course. But for the time being, I would like to reassure you. I didn't foresee subsequent events. What events? His disappearance in Hong Kong. Oh. I believe I may have made a gross error of judgment. Mr. Sholmes. He did it for a reason, but then didn't see something coming. I don't know where this is going. And that's it. Let's see, do I have anything to present? Nope, just my armband, as per usual. Alright, well, I guess we can... Yeah, we haven't gone up to my room yet. Let's see if anything's changed in here. 1st November, Naruhodo's legal consultancy. Nope, just Suzuto, just chilling out here. Everything's pretty much the same. Alright. I wonder if anything's changed, like, anywhere else. John, I probably have to investigate around for a bit. Oh, hi! You're still here. Alright, maybe not. Okay, maybe if we just poke around and... Can I take a closer look at your hair? I was always drawn to this big metal chest that Mr. Sholmes and Iris use as a coffee table. Isn't that where Iris keeps her very important papers? It is, so you'd think they'd treat it with more care, really. But only the other day I saw Mr. Sholmes kick it. Oh no. I suppose something must have been frustrating him. What a shame to mistreat furniture, though. Was it damaged? The chest was fine, but Mr. Sholmes was doubled up on the floor for almost 10 minutes. Oh dear, that is a painful tale. See, we still have the Sogi's mask? The mask Cosmo wore when he was first assigned to Lord Van Zees as his apprentice. When he cast it aside after the trial the other day, I just sort of picked it up. We ought to give it back to him, I suppose. But he has his memory back now, doesn't he? I can't help a feeling he might turn around and tell me to coldly wear it myself. But isn't he your best friend? This looks like last week's edition. What's that article circled in red ink there? It's an advertisement column. It says, "To the Red-Headed League." Oh, okay. This is probably gonna explain why he has red hair. The Red-Headed League? What's that? I don't know. I never heard of it before, but... Is there something on my face? Clearly this has something to do with that lively hair. Oh, cool. Now I got evidence. Alright, let's see what's going on with this thing. What? Wait, hang on. On account of the latest, request of get £4 per week if you're a redhead? Oh, okay. This is how he pays his rent, bruh. Alright. I can't examine it any closer, so I just... Alright, is this why you change your hair? It looks as though someone circled an advertisement in this paper, Mr. Sholmes. To the Red-Headed League. Does that strike you in some way? I was thinking that just maybe it might be related. I don't know what could possibly tell me that. To your bright red hair. So, at last you've learned to apply my methods, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? In the first instance, and quite indispensable, observation. Believe me, I could have seen that hair with my eyes shut. So then, allow me to regale you with the tales of my latest exploits. Regale or boast? Why not both? Alright. So, what is the Red-Headed League, which seems to be the subject of the advertisement you circled? You noticed it in the paper, then? That, my dear fellow, was going to be the source of this week's month's rent payment. It was? How? According to the advertisement, the Red-Headed League is a distinguished institution of fellows of unspecified governments. In fact, the only condition for becoming a member is having red hair. That doesn't entirely surprise me. But listen to what the lucky redheads receive once they join. An unconditional salary of £5 per a week. Oh my, £5 a week? But why? What are they paying people for? That I don't know. No details are given in the advertisement. But surely every red-headed person in the country will be flocking to join that case. You're right, Susie. There's no time to lose. I'll put in my application at once. You have pink hair, what do you mean? So will I. Just on the off chance. That might be stretching a point, I think. Naruto's like, am I the only normal one in this room? The trouble is, they have a fixed number of members, you see. Oh, I see. So once a certain number of people have joined, no one else can. But as luck would have it, one member currently passed away. It wasn't particularly lucky for the redhead in question, I feel, Mr. Sholmes. So you decided to try to join in his place? Correct. I mean, look at me. Have you ever seen such a red-headed fellow? No. So why? Why did it have to go so wrong? What on earth happened? A blunder, Mr. Naruhodo, though it pains me to admit it. What is going on? What did you actually do to your hair, Mr. Sholmes? I'm glad you asked, Mrs. Ito. What you see atop my head is neither dyed nor a hairpiece. I changed the color of my hair overnight. By the wonders of chemistry. Chemistry? I was conducting some research into a method of rejuvenating spent tea leaves. And in the course of my work, I stumbled upon a potion that, which, when taken, turns one's hair a flame-like red. Would you care to try it? It'll make every hair on your body perfectly crimson. I think I'll pass. But, Mr. Sholmes, is it quite safe to drink? Surely it's bad for you, isn't it? Amateurs are always hampered by such fears. Oh, I should have never doubted you, Mr. Sholmes. You mean to say... But of course! To earn 4 pounds a week, one must be prepared to turn a blind eye to a little danger. That degree of red signals is more than just a little danger, surely. So anyway, Hurley just left full of confidence yesterday with his new red hair. For the park on Lime Street, where the Red-Headed League were interviewing prospective new members. So what went wrong? The whole park was choked with red-headed folk, like a coaster's orange barrow. I queued for 8 hours solid before, at last, I reached the front. But when the panel of interviewers saw me, they immediately said, "Ah, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, are you in disguise to conduct your investigation?" So naturally, I had no choice but to reply, "Shh, don't give me away." After which, I could do little else but turn and leave. Then this morning, when I looked in the mirror, irritation stirred within me. So I turned that pair into the police. Oh dear, what a disaster. For Hurley and those 2 redheads. Oh my god. Oh. Ah! Here's my guest now, my latest client, with money to spend. Oh, I do hope it's an exciting case, Hurley. Remember, Iris, we are at present gripped by the greatest problem known to man. I must be willing to accept any case, no matter how unstimulating, to save a local runaway, locating a runaway, of course. Don't spare anyone's feelings, will you? Oh dear, I'm afraid that Hurley can lack a little tact, especially just before the rent is due. Oh. Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, please, oh please. Oh, she was one of the jury people from the last case. Please find my husband. He's run away. To upset me? I beg your pardon? Never mind, a personal matter. My apologies. What exactly are you trying to say, Mr. Naruto? I didn't say a word. Come, my dear madam, be seated. Iris, some tea, if you please. Of course. What's the matter, Mrs. Ito? Oh, it's just that gentlewoman. I feel sure I've seen her somewhere before, very recently. Yes, now that you've come to mention it. As I explained earlier, my name is Evie Vigil. I implore you to take the case, sir. Money is no object. Simply name your figure. Money and wealth are of little consequence to me, madam. Being offered a case to solve is reward enough. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you are the picture of benevolence. I'll, of course, make a mental note of your offer, however, for contingent reasons. I trust you remember your words also. If I might inquire, sir. This gentleman and lady would be... Oh, me? What I'm about to tell you, I should like to communicate in the strictest confidence, you understand. Ah! These are my friends. I assure you, you may say before this pair anything which you may say to me. Ah, I see. I can vouch for the gentleman personally, after all. He's hard of hearing. Why do I ever get my hopes up? Hello? Forgive me for asking, Mrs. Vigil, but have we met somewhere before? Quite recently, perhaps. Oh my. Psh, my dear fellow, what is your intention? Clearly you have no ability to differentiate the facial features of the English. If you wish to invite the lady to tea, you must do so in a more gentlemanly fashion. No, that's not what I'm doing. Is it possible that you're the nice young lawyer from the trial I attended last week? Ah, I knew I recognized her. Yep, sure enough. To have a man's fate in the palm of one's hand. Oh gosh, oh golly. It sends shivers down my spine. I didn't quite recognize her because she's acting so differently now. Kinda feel like she's still the same, but, well, I guess because her husband's missing. It must be very difficult for you as a lawyer. Being hard of hearing, I mean. Pardon? Oh dear, I'm so sorry. Don't worry if you can't hear. It was, frippy, really. Nothing more. Now look what you started, Mr. Sholmes. Thank you very much. I believe it would be prudent for you to sit quietly in the corner. Yes. I can't believe Holmes sent me to timeout. Tell us about your husband, madam. Mr. Vigil, my daily, is 40 years of age. I have a photograph here. Entirely unremarkable gentleman. By appearance, at least. How long have you been married? It'll be 15 years this year. We have a cordial relationship, and my husband's income is more than adequate, so we live quite comfortably. As it would appear. I need only look at you to know these things. Oh gosh. Your dress is in the latest style, your hat clearly regularly groomed, and your eyes are animated. In short, you have no inkling as to why your husband might have disappeared, correct? That's right. He is a kind man with a strong sense of loyalty, and he rather dotes on me. Which would point to the possibility that he has been embroiled in some incident or other. Oh, that is exactly what I fear must have happened, Mr. Sholmes. I'm quite beside myself. My husband's employment is somewhat unusual, you see. What if he's incurred some miscreant's ill will? What exactly is your husband's line of work? He's a warder at the prison. A guard? That is somewhat unusual. So, your husband is a prison warder. That's right, yes. Well, in actual fact, he's the chief warder. Indeed, I see. Well, chief prison warders certainly qualifies as something of a specialist occupation. Yes, it does indeed. My poor husband must prepare those dreadful punishments and see that they're carried out. Dreadful punishments? Does she mean capital punishments? And at such times, he must occasionally spend a night or two in the prison dormitory. But for that extra responsibility, he's... Sorry, I need a drink. Renovated more handsomely than other warders. Of course, we must make no mention of my husband's work to the neighbors. Yes, I believe your prudence is justified. Tell me, at what prison is your husband engaged? Barclay Prison, Mr. Sholmes. Really? Barclay? Oh, a fine establishment. If I'm not mistaken, there's a large cemetery just behind it. Yes, that's correct. Lowgate Cemetery. Oh. No. Lowgate Cemetery? The very place we were discussing in court. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable, my dear fellow. And yet undeniable. Sorry, Mr. Sholmes. I'm afraid you've lost me. Ah, pay me no heed, madam. Pay me no heed. A private matter. This can't really be a coincidence, can it? So, to the matter of your husband's disappearance, when did you realize he was missing? Please try not to laugh. It was yesterday. I'm sorry? Yesterday? That really is recent, laughably so. The truth is, my husband does at times have occasion to spend the night away for his work. It's not all out of the ordinary for him to not have returned at home at night, but this is different. For him not to make any contact for a whole day, that has certainly never happened before. Oh, my dear Daly, what could ever have happened? My dear Miss Vigil, please, calm yourself. Now then, have you contacted the police? Why, naturally, but sadly. They refused to listen to my pleas as my husband has been only missing for a day. I was asked to wait patiently at home. In truth, Mrs. Vigil, I can concur with the police. However, let us not be hasty. I see no reason why we should not engage in my inductive powers to track down your husband anyway. Oh, thank you, Mr. Sholmes. And furthermore, let me assure you, a chance to solve the greatest problem known to man for another month has no bearing on my decision. I seek only to put a smile on a sweet smile on Lunder's face. That's really all there is to it. You have my eternal gratitude. I shall pay you any sum you'd care to mention. You seek only to put this week's rent in your landlady's purse. That's all there is to it. You're so full of it. Thank you for everything you shared with us, Mrs. Vigil. I believe I have all the information I need to begin my investigation. Oh, please report to me soon with good news, sir. Fear not, madam. In a day or two, I shall be contacting you with a heartening report, I'm quite sure. So soon? Oh, how splendid, Mr. Sholmes. Good news shall be delivered early, I always say. If you would be so kind as to leave the photograph of your husband in my possession. Okay. Thank you. Now, allow me to show you to the door. I can't thank you enough, Mr. Sholmes. You've been simply marvelous. You know, I think it every time, Hurley. How do you come up with such nonsense? Good news in a day or two? Are you sure? I can't be sure, of course, but then I didn't swear on it. I merely gave the good woman some hope. I hope to be able to give her good news, one might say. After all, the rent must be paid by the end of the day tomorrow. If by that time I've successfully located Mr. Vigil, we shall be mutually relieved. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? Don't look at me with those pleading eyes. Well, my dear fellow, did you hear the details of the case? Yes, my hearing is surprisingly good, actually, despite you saying I'm hard of hearing. Excellent! And what do you make of it? Well, I was surprised to learn where her husband worked. At Barclay Prison, I mean. Ah, so you noted that? Of course, especially with the mention of Lowgate Cemetery. Lowgate Cemetery is at the rear of Barclay Prison. So it was renowned among us students at the university for being haunted by the ghosts of condemned convicts. Yeah, I remember that. Barclay Prison is where that notorious man was incarcerated. The professor. And now a warder for the prison has mysteriously disappeared, it would seem. It's all very peculiar. Indeed. But nothing you can't handle, I'm quite certain, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? Run along to the prison and see what you can glean. Would you? It's the prison governor you want. No doubt the man is equally worried. But aren't you gonna go yourself? Surely you needn't ask. I can't possibly be seen out with his hair. But didn't you go to Lime Street with that hair? That would be quite a different matter. So I leave it in your capable hands. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm rather busy. Of course you are. Of course you are. Alright, well. Guess we're going to jail. What's gonna be going on here? Barclay Prison is on the outskirts of London, backing onto a lonely burial ground. Its four high outer walls loomed quietly before us in the fog. Having requested a meeting, we were shown to the governor's office in the watchtower. Is that a guillotine clock? What the hell? 1st November, Barclay Prison Governor's Office. What is going on in here? This place is full of hardened criminals. I can't remember the last time a civilian was doing here. Okay, he has a bit of an accent. You don't want to talk to an inmate, but to me? Hello. Do you kid know who I am? I'm the governor, Barricaden. Hmm? Oh, yes, it's a pleasure. I'm Rinosuke Naruhodo, a defense lawyer. An Easterner, I see. Does that mean... Yes, I'm a visiting student of law from the Empire of Japan. Japan? Did you say Japan? Yes? There's no of any kind in here, laddie. Maybe you ought to try the prison next door, eh? I didn't notice another prison next door, sir. Anyway, we came to ask you some questions about... I didn't like to be so direct, but... I have no intention of speaking with the likes of you suspicious-looking Easterners. Now get out of me here. So as soon as he finds out that we're from Japan, he reacts like this. That surely means... I think it's because of the professor case. You think so too? 10 years ago, Genshin Isogi, also known as the Professor, was incarcerated at this prison. And then after his execution, he apparently re-emerged from his grave in the cemetery behind the prison. I might have known. You're sniffing around about that case, aren't you? What are you doing? Your agents, eh? Part of the Professor's great web, no doubt. No, not at all. We're just... Get going with you before I punch your lights out. We're going! Clear the ghost of that killer still haunts this place. We're not gonna get anywhere here. Unless we can somehow prove to this man that there's nothing suspicious about us. Governor Caden. What are you thinking, Miss Suzuto? I feel sure that name came up in a conversation recently somewhere. I was wondering if whoever mentioned him might have some ideas to help us. Come to think of it, I have the same feeling. So he just straight up not gonna talk to us? I said get out! Yeah, okay, yeah, he just shoots us down immediately. Alright. Well, Kaden, I think we heard Suzuto's dad talk about that. Is he still at the hotel? Oh no, he's just chilling. Hey, what's up? That's Professor Mikotomo over there. Oh, hello, you two. I was just taking a moment to catch up on the world now that I'm unpacked. But where's Judge Jigoku? Yes, he's not the relaxing sort. He's taken himself off to pay his respects to all legal bigwigs. Having only just arrived in the country today? Goodness, he is full of energy. Professor, you mentioned something before about how you known the prison governor at Barclay Prison. Oh, Governor Caden, you mean? So it is the same man.
Father, we must speak with the governor. But he refused to talk to us. He said we were suspicious Easterners.
Well, I'm sure if I accompanied you, it would be a very different story.
Oh, would you? That would be wonderful, if you have time now.
Sadly, as you can see, I'm very busy at the moment. No, you would. You would just read the paper, bro. Busy drinking coffee on a comfortable... set? No, I have rather a lot to prepare for tomorrow, you know. Oh, sorry, I didn't say that out loud, did I? You Mikitobas are alarmingly good at reading people's thoughts. Or it could be that you Naruhodos are alarmingly bad at hiding your thoughts. Yeah, I swear, I say this stuff out loud sometimes. Let's not fall out now. I have an idea. What's he writing on that piece of paper? Here's a letter of introduction for you. Hopefully when he sees my name, he'll change his tune.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. So I just assume we head back and show it to him? Good luck then. Thank you. Alright, so yeah, let's peace out and here we go back to the prison. What's up? I have a piece of paper. No one fear me. Oh, we can look at it. Professor Mikitoba has a wonderful handwriting, doesn't he?
This dark-suited young man is not the least bit untrustworthy.
Is it just me, or does that make me sound extremely untrustworthy?
I do wish he'd at least call you a nice young man.
I'm really not sure if that would help. Anything on the other side?
Oh, it looks like this is some sort of steamship ticket. The SS Grouse first class cabin. 001. Yokohama departure 11th September, London arrival 1st November.
Ah, that's the boat that Professor Mikitoba and Jochigoku came on from Japan, isn't it?
Yes, I think it called at Dunkirk at the north coast of France for a night before finally arriving in Dover. To think it's almost been a year since we arrived in Dover on the SS Bureau. It seems a shame to not keep your ticket as a memento of your trip, don't you think? Yes, I agree. I have mine safely in my diary. And I keep mine in my wallet, so I have it with me at all times.
Oh well, how strange. Where could it have gone?
Are you like this on purpose, Mr. Naruhodo?
Did I imagine it? Or was that comment accompanied by a little sigh? Oh, it got updated. Cool. Alright, let's shove it right in his face. If you just cast your eyes over this, Governor Caden. What's this then? You cannot pull the wolves over my eyes, you good-for-nothing Japanese student. Mikitoba. That young joke from the forensics laboratory. That Mikitoba? Yes, exactly, him.
Oh dear, perhaps I should have said something sooner. I'm Yuji Mikitoba's daughter, Suzuto.
Gee, you're the young man's daughter. And you didn't think to mention that before.
I do apologize.
Aye, well, you best take a seat then. Can offer you a cup of tea, perhaps. And don't forget to try one of these wee handcuff biscuits. Handcuff biscuits. Wow, that changes tune real good. Your father's influence is nothing short of amazing.
I'm bitterly regretting not announcing who I was from the outset now.
So then, what can I do for you?
Well, we're currently investigating a case.
It's one of your warders, you see. He's gone missing. Missing?
That's right. It's surely been reported to you as well, being the prison governor.
I haven't heard nothing of the sort. There's no missing persons in my prison.
Oh.
But how can that be?
It's Mr. Daily Vigil, your chief warder.
Eh? Vigil?
That's right. His wife came to us and asked us to investigate his disappearance. Let's skip the part about him only being going missing for yesterday for now. Clearly that means something to him. Would you be so kind as to tell us what you know, sir?
Aye, of course. Okay, now we can talk.
We understand that Mr. Vigil is the chief warder here at the prison.
Aye, that he was. Strong sense of responsibility dedicated to the job. No doubt about it. He was a fine warder.
Sorry, did you say was?
Aye. He doesn't work here no more. He left the job.
Oh my. When was this exactly?
There's a question. When was the boat? Can have been about much less than 10 years ago now. What?
What? 10 years ago? He stopped working here 10 years ago?
Aye. As I minded, Deacon, I must have heard the fella's name in all that time. That's a worry if he's gone missing, though.
But Mrs. Vigil made no mention of it. I think perhaps Mr. Naruhodo, his wife simply doesn't know. I think she's unaware that he no longer works here. Governor Caden, can you tell us what happened? Why did Mr. Vigil give up his job here?
That's important, is it?
Yes, I believe it may be. What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo? I can't help but wondering, given that it was 10 years ago.
Never see it come
Bean!
Bean, how was tennis? I hope you won, man. You remember, your coach wants you to, take the top spot.
Dams down, damn it down.
Good to see you too, man. So that was tennis. Did you win?
What the fuck?
Oh my god, this clip, you are getting destroyed. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. I know I wasn't watching yesterday, but I know you came out on top. Listen, your coach just knows these things. Oops, that's the wrong button. Yeah, we won more asses than we lost. I think we've lost like 3 matches and won about 6. Alright, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good win rate, I must say. Nice job. See, I always knew you could do it. But thanks for stopping by, I appreciate it. Just doing some investigating right now. Good to see ya.
Can't help but wondering, given that it was 10 years ago. Which was exactly when the professor was being held at this prison. So Mr. Vigil was actually resigned from his position of chief warder 10 years ago? You're telling us? What happened to make him leave the job?
In actual fact, he didn't leave the job willingly. He had no choice in the matter.
You mean he was dismissed?
It was after a particular walk.
Sorry? A walk?
Aye, there's the word for it in there. A walk to the gallows.
An execution?
It's the job of the chief warder to prepare the gallows tree and oversee any executions, you see. Only, Vigil did something unthinkable on that last walk he was manning.
What did he do?
I'm sorry, but can't reveal that information.
but I can't tell you that it's very rare for a chief warder to be relieved of his post. But why wouldn't Mrs. Vigil know about it? She appears to be under the impression that her husband still works here. I wouldn't get anything about that, I'm afraid. Can you perhaps answer one more question about the circumstances of his dismissal? And what will that be in? That lax execution that Mr. Vigil was responsible for overseeing. Was it by any chance the professor's? My thoughts exactly. I'm sorry, I really am. But I'm at no liberty to answer that. I see. My father came to Britain all those years ago in order to study forensic medicine. But you seem to have been well acquainted. The dead room, the prison, and the cemetery have a lot to do with one another. After all, they need fresh corpses for forensic research, do you know? Yes, I can imagine. The advancement of medical science isn't always particularly palatable. Your father worked in the laboratory just on the far side of the graveyard, in the basement of St. Sinners. It's still in use today. St. Sinners. That's come up before, I'm sure. Yes, that's right. We've been there. McDermott and I used to ride in a carriage together and negotiate terms. For more fresh material, I suppose. Aye. And we used to sit here for hours and gab on about dissection and all sorts. Ugh, takes me back. Oh, a bottle of tea and a plate of cuff biscuits, of course. How charming. He was a good fella, your father. Reliable and dead set on his work. But I'm afraid I'll never understand you Japanese. Because of Genshin Asogi, I suppose. Well. Can I tell you anything else? Thank you so much for your time, Governor. Oh, one moment before you're away then. Sure I have it here somewhere. Ah, found it. Here, take this as a wee souvenir of your visit to the prison. What is it? That's Vigil's dismissal notice. It's 10 years old now, of course. Oh my, are you sure? Hey, it's no trouble at all. It's not the original, mind. Okay. Thank you very much, Governor Caden. Well, in return, do me a favor and never come back here. That case is closed. Well, I think we ought to return to Baker Street for the time being. Yes, I agree. We need to report back to Mr. Sholmes what we found out about Mr. Vigil. Okay. Yeah, let me look at this real quick. What we got? Okay, Chief Warder Daily Vigil proceeded to his post with immediate effect, having violated Clause 132 of Her Majesty's Code of Conduct for prisons. All rights to redundancy pay and other beneficial benefits are fully revoked. Aiding and abetting the escape of this prison convict, well, it doesn't tell us who it is, just prior to his execution. Details of this escape are still being investigated. Full cooperation with inquiries will be expected. Prisoner Governor Barry Caden. Notes indications that the jailbreak plot was conceived prior to the convict's incarceration. It's believed that the convict engaged in some form of negotiation with the prison staff in order to secure assistance. Full disclosure of the information regarding those negotiations will be demanded. Okay, so we probably have to show this to Sholmes. When will he tell Mrs. Vigil, I wonder? Surprised he managed to keep it a secret for 10 whole years. Okay, we're back. 1st November, Sholmes is sweet. We're back. Hello, you two. Oh, it's Iris. I thought you'd be back before long, so I baked some scones for us all. Ah, so that's what that delicious smell is. Greetings, my dear fellows. Why is your hair blue now? What are you doing? You've returned a good deal sooner than I was anticipating. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Hello, Mr. Sholmes? Say nothing, your thoughts are written all over your faces in any case. It turns out that it may have been advisable to test my hair color restoration tonic before application. Oh my. Pray tell me, what of our warder friend? Have you garnered some new information? Oh, yes, something very surprising in fact. Though it's not a patch on your hair, to be honest. It most certainly isn't. We discovered that... Sholmes! Uh-oh. Hi, Gina. Drop evidence, Sholmes. This is more important. Gina? I can't believe it. Oh. Why is she sad? What's happened? Clearly a very grave matter indeed. For Miss Lestrade made no mention of my hair whatsoever. Bruh. It's the boss. What do you mean? Inspector Gregson? The boss is... He's dead. What? No. They just found his body shot with a pistol. What? But Inspector Gregson? He was murdered? No, not Gregsy. Come in, my dear girl. Tell us the whole story. Oh. Poor Gina. Are you serious, Gina? Inspector Gregson was... He was really shot? I don't know much about what happened myself yet. They're still there, investigating the scene. Where did this take place? A little rented room in the building full of flats in Fresno Street. The outskirts of town, nowhere near his home. He was perhaps investigating a case then. The thing is, no one at the yard knows nothing about any case around there. Oh, how strange. The boss he was so good to me. I know I ain't up to much yet, but one day I was gonna show him. I become a proper detective. Oh, Jeannie. So who did this? Do you have any idea who the culprit is? They got him already. Already? They must have caught the shooters. They caught the shooter so soon. A witness reported something was going on, and the boys got straight down there and took care of him. Who? What awful person did this? I still can't believe it myself. Gina? It was the Reaper. Van Zeeks? Wait a minute. You don't mean they've arrested Lord Van Zeeks for it? That's right. That Reaper bloke's gone and shot the boss. No! Lord Van Zeeks? No, there's no way he'd do that. Are you quite sure, Miss Lestrade? It's Baroque Van Zeeks the police have arrested. I saw him with my own eyes, in the interview room at the yard. I don't believe it. But there were witnesses. And they're all saying it was him. So you mean there were actually multiple witnesses? They heard the gunshot apparently. And when Unlock got to the scene, there was only the boss and that Reaper bloke in the room. But there's no way Lord Van Zieks would have taken Gregson's life. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it either. Thank you for informing us, Miss Lestrade. This is really the most terrible news. I'm dreadfully sorry. What are you saying sorry for? You didn't do nothing. Well, anyway, I'm taking a cab over to the scene right now. Please come and all, as soon as you can. You've got to help. Oh. It's a detective's lot to appear whenever some sinister plot has unfolded. Little wonder we all look haggard. Sometimes these things are almost too much for the nerves. Mr. Sholmes. What use is there in being a great detective if I fail to see something like this coming, How can I let this happen to Gregson? To Gregson. Mr. Naruhodo, I shall leave at once to begin my investigations. Of course, yes, we will too. It would be helpful if you could talk to Mr. Reaper and see what you can glean. I'm sure you were intending to do so anyway. Until later, then. Inspector Gregson dead, and Lord Van Zieks arrested. Reno, Susie! I've called you a hansom. It's waiting outside. Thanks, Iris. Shall we, Miss Zuzuto? Yes. Alright, well, let's go see what's up with, Van Zieks. Hey, what's up, bro? How's it going? I'm in jail. What do you think? 1st November, local prison, cell 1. There he is. Lord Van Zieks behind bars. So it's true. He really was arrested. He's sitting with his back to the wall, reading something. I don't think he's noticed us. Lord Van Zieks! Oh God. Fancy meeting you here. The last place on Earth I'd like to be, with the last person on Earth I'd like to see. Oh, what do you mean? Didn't we bond, last time in court? I thought you finally respected me. I couldn't very well not come. We had heard what happened. That Inspector Gregson was... Go home. This has nothing to do with you. But... Forgive me, Lord Van Zieks, but I must disagree. Inspector Gregson was very helpful to us on a number of occasions. We are indebted to him. At the very least, we owe it to him to find out the truth behind his death. You must help us with our investigations, please. There's really nothing I could tell you. What were you just reading at the back of the cell there? Was it something related to the case? This. The Yard isn't so quite cavalier with its information as to share case details with the suspect. This is a letter from an old acquaintance. Oh, who might that be? Someone you know, as it happens. Albert Harebrain. Of course, yes. I keep forgetting they went to the same university. And I would like to read my correspondence in peace. So let's get this over with, shall we? What is it you want to know? Strange. I mean, let's face it, Lord Van Zieks never minces his words. But they seem to have a less bite than usual somehow. I mean, yeah, he is kind of in jail. Can you at least tell us your side of the story then, Lord Van Zieks? What happened? How much do you already know? We know that the inspector was shot dead in a small rented room in Fresno Street, and that you were found there by the police when they arrived on the scene and immediately arrested. And we were told that there was nobody else in the room and that some witnesses heard the gunshot. Then you're well informed. And there's really nothing I can add. The truth is, I don't know what happened myself. But the gunshot, obviously you didn't fire the gun, did you? I'm not in the habit of shooting the people I work alongside. I also heard the noise, however. Before I had the chance to investigate, I was apprehended by the arriving officers. So he doesn't actually know what happened. If I might ask, what were you doing in that place to begin with? I don't need to answer that. Oh. After all, you're not representing me. He's going to need a lawyer, though. Come on, let me do it. I thought we were friends. Who's going to be representing you in court, Lord Van Zeeks? Anyone other than you, I should imagine. Would I be right in assuming that you have no representation as of yet? Defense lawyers shy away from any trial involving the Reaper, as I'm sure you know. But this is different. In my career, all the defendants I've prosecuted, only 19 have ever been acquitted. Of them, 16 subsequently died in mysterious circumstances. Questions will be asked now. Surely not. I assure you, no defense lawyer will want to touch me with the end of a barge pole. But you didn't actually have anything to do with those people's deaths, did you? It's been 10 years now that I've been known as the Reaper of the Bailey. Believe me, nobody wants to know the true identity of this killer more than I. However, it seems things may come to a head before I have a chance to uncover the truth about that. What does he mean by that? After the trial, Professor Harebrained was supposed to go straight back to Germany, I thought. It's a letter to inform me of a safe arrival at home. I arranged his passage by sea and rail. It's a relief, I must say. He should now be beyond the reaches of the Reaper. Because the Reaper doesn't follow people abroad, you mean? Yes, so it seems. Your stupid little Nipponese friend, for example. You told me he was keeping well in Japan when I inquired the other day. Yes, that's right. He's an author now, happily working in Tokyo. So Professor Harebrained is safely back in Germany now. He is. So, it appears our conversation has run dry. There was a 2-second silence, that's all. Well, in any event, if you'll excuse me now, I wouldn't like to detain you. I was wondering, Lord Van Zeeks, if you'd like, I'd be happy to advocate for you. You trust me, do you? Yes. I've heard you speak many times in court. I've seen how you treat people, so I'm quite sure that you would never have taken another's life. It's just, my feelings can't be used in evidence in a court of law, sadly. It's a very gracious offer, however. I trust no one. What? Not the police, not the judiciary, and not you Nipponese. But please! I have no intention of engaging your services. The chasm between us is just too wide and too deep, it seems. I'd appreciate it if you don't visit again. Then neither of us will waste any more time. Perhaps we need to dig a little deeper and find out more about Lord Van Zeeks and what happened to Inspector Gregson, what a jerk. Yeah, I'm like, bro, I will literally defend you. I'm here for you as like a friend. And I thought we bonded last time in court, and he just tells me to go away. Well, yeah, he won't talk to us anymore, so we just have to leave, I guess. Alright, well, let's investigate the crime scene. See what this is all about. 1st November, room on Fresno Street. This is really an out-of-the-way part of London. I doubt many people find their way down this back street. So, this dust-ridden rented old room is where it happened, then. So this is where poor Inspector Gregson lost his life. I still can't believe he's dead. That's crazy, actually. But he's been a character who's been with us, like, since, I think, the 3rd case or the 4th case. He's been with us for a while. And now he's gone already. Yes, and the police are already hard at work investigating, it seems. I mean, yeah, like, one of their own died. They're gonna be on that. I don't see Mr. Sholmes anywhere, though. Perhaps his investigation has taken him elsewhere. Oi! What do you think you're doing there? Every one of them drawers has got to be taken out right now so you can have a look underneath them all. And I want the space above the ceiling checked. Don't forget to look inside the chimney stack, too. Blimey, ain't your lot ever gone over a house looking for dough when the owners are out of town? Genius obviously got some unique investigative techniques she wants everyone to adopt. Oh, so you turned up at last. Mind you, I haven't been here long myself. Yeah, she's really on top of this. Hello again, Gina. Sholmes has only just left. You're lucky you missed that. He went prancing around here and there, pouring its stuff and flicking that of this, and then just scrapping. Oh, he's finished investigating already, you mean? Yeah, he didn't stop to say nothing to no one, not even me. Gina, would you mind if we investigated too? Listen, Odo. You're a lawyer, right? Yes. Why? Well, you're not thinking of trying to help that Reaper bloke, are you? Oh, poor Gina. She's never gonna forget, is she? The trial will haunt her forever. Gina, if you don't mind me saying, if Lord Van Zieks really is responsible for this crime, he will be duly and fairly judged in court. I suppose you're right. Yeah. Go on then, Odo. Get investigating. I want to know the truth about what really happened here. Thank you, Gina. Okay. Let's talk first. Gina, what was Inspector Gregson doing here in the first place? That's what I want to know. So what, half a year since I got out of the clink? That's when I decided to give up me dive and become a detective instead. Oh yes, Mr. Sholmes twisted the inspector's arm to agree to take you on as an apprentice, didn't he? Something like that, I think. Anyway, the point is, I didn't really know much about the boss until then. But turns out, he's a bit of a legend at the yard. Goodness, really? They say he managed to solve some really tricky case, just like that. He did? Yep, and ever since then, he started going on all sorts of investigations, but always on his own. No one else at the yard even knows about what half the cases he was working on are, apparently. That's not how it's supposed to work, is it? So what was the legendary inspector doing in a dingy little room like this? I know he had a lot of respect for the Reaper and all, and look where that landed him. Respect for the Reaper? In what way? Let him say as much. I take my hat off to that fella, were his words. Not how the general public feels, is it? Most people are terrified of the Reaper. Yeah, the boss said exactly why he respected the bloke. I didn't realize Gregson held the Reaper in such high regard. He said something else to me and all, that I didn't need to worry about the Reaper, because he only goes after people what a bad. He did kind of set my mind at ease when he said that. Right. Alright, the crime scene? What is this place then? Does anyone live here? Apparently it's being rented by some cove called Huge Boon. Huge Boon. It's sort of a here today, gone tomorrow name that, isn't it? Yeah, he's what we call an unidentified person. We haven't been able to get in touch with him. I see. Well, judging from appearances, I have to say this place hasn't been lived in for a long time, if ever. Right? All the lads from the yard piled down to get stuck into investigation. But there's so little here, no one knows what to do with themselves. I do wonder. Yes, Mrs. Ito? Well, could it be that Hugh Boone is in fact Inspector Gregson himself? What? How could that be? Well, if he was investigating on his own, it's quite possible that he was in fact some kind of secret... this wasn't some kind of secret office of his. I've never even considered that. Nice work, Suze. We're actually following a line of inquiry like that ourselves. You are? If you look around the room, you'll see there's a few things that hint at it. We should really investigate this place in detail. I see that's where the poor inspector was found. Over there. Ooh. Yeah, that's right. They said it was a single bullet what did him in. Apparently the bullet went right through him and struck the candle tree on the wall. Oh yes, it's blown out one of the candles apart completely. And the gun was used there on the floor. It's the Reaper's, ain't it? No denying that. What? Really? How do you know that? Take it easy. I don't know what to do with myself when you stare at me with those big wide eyes. I'm only saying what I've heard. I don't know much about the guns myself. But there was some big wig lawyer man or whatever who said so. Why don't you ask him? Big wig lawman, is it? Anyway, Fresno Street runs along that window there. There were some street sellers just outside where the gunshot. Oh, but I don't recall seeing anybody outside. Yeah, they've all been taken out for the yard for questioning. That's why. We're talking about the yard's legendary inspector here, after all. They'll be getting a grilling. Do you think we might be able to speak to those street sellers ourselves? I doubt it. The lads of the yard will just want to know what you're snooping for, and you'll end up for a grilling and all. So we can't interview the witnesses then. Shame. Alright, let's poke around the room then. What we got here? This looks like some sort of notice board or something. And it's absolutely covered in scraps of paper. Ah, Mr. Arhoto, look! This, you mean? It's an autopsy report, isn't it? And those are case notes here. And details of the prison inmates. Yes, in fact, there are all sorts of documents only a detective could normally acquire. What on earth went on in this room? Some old newspaper cuttings. Ah, and this one here? Oh yes, the advertisement you mean. To the Red-Headed League. But why? What's that doing here? Whoever occupied this room was clearly interested in it for some reason. What's this? Oh, it's a photograph stand. I suppose it must be a picture of one of Inspector Grayson's family members. Ah. What's the matter? Your eyes look like they're about to pop out of your head. They are, look! Mr. Arhoto, quickly! What? Why do I feel like this woman is familiar somehow? Of course she's familiar. We only met her this morning. Ah! It's Mrs. Vigil! This makes no sense. Why would there be a picture of Mrs. Vigil in here? Does her husband actually live here? To be frank, I don't think I've ever been more stumped. I'm sorry to say, I have no idea either.
Okay, we got the photograph. This is weird. Hi, Veer. Veer, Van Zeeks has been locked in jail for supposedly shooting Gregson? Man, I can't believe he's in jail for this. This case is getting nuts. How you doing, Veer? What's up? Nah, Van Zeeks, I know. And then when I offered to represent him, he told me to go away. Not my precious meow meow. But I like how like intense this case is getting. This feels more like Inspector Gregson dying, then Van Zeeks going to jail. This feels more like final case material. I wonder why this came up in case 4 then. Because supposedly there's another case after this. This case fucking rocks. I'm interested in so far to see where this is going. An empty fireplace makes a room feel colder than it would be otherwise, doesn't it? What are you laughing at? There's something that you know that I know that I don't know. It's thick with dust. Look, I think we'd be fair to say that it has been used in a very long time. In other words, whoever lived in this room must have been extremely hardy in the cold weather. It gets better. I bet it does. Like, there has to be, because I know there is a final case. But then, what could it be? It has to be something big if it's gonna top this. Or nobody lived here at all. Merely visited when the occasion arose. I wouldn't like to say which is more likely. No, that's right. It's one or the other. Okay, what else can we look at in here? Hello, sir. Excuse me. Oh, Inspector... Oh, sir. Poor man. Can't possibly be able to focus on investigating when he's so upset. Well, yeah, they lost their boss. Excuse me? Sorry, sir. Can't see a thing, sir. Jimmy tears, sir. Oh, they're all sad. Right, perhaps I better leave you to your work then. I don't think I'm going to be able to talk to any of the officers here. This is presumably the murder weapon, then. Oh my, it's real, I suppose. I think so. Guns are so rare in Japan. I really know very little about them. There's one way to know for sure then, Mr. Naruto. Fire a shot. Are you crazy? No. If I did that, I'd be looking for a skilled lawyer to represent me in court. Slightly safer to just ask someone who might know, I think. Okay. Yeah, before you do anything, let's take a look at what we got. So we have this frame. Why would Vigil be on this thing? And then we have a gun. Oh, we can take a detailed look at this. I suppose this must have been the murder weapon. Oh my, it's real, I suppose. I think so? As they're so rare in Japan, I rarely know very little about them. Come on. You know you want to know. I don't want to fire the shot here. I'm gonna be arrested myself. Perhaps someone with more familiar with firearms could shed light on things here. Is there anything else we could look at? No, not really. Let's take a look at where... Yep, this is where they found him. So I suppose this is where the victim... That's right, the rope is laid out around the body to show exactly how it was found. Poor Inspector Gregson himself had already been taken away. It would probably be under Dr. Sai's scalpel by now if not for what happened last week. From the shape of the rope, it would appear that the inspector was curled up in a ball. Are you feeling alright, Mr. Naruhodo? You look like you just seen a ghost. I know it's just a rope, but, well, it conjures up quite a terrifying image, that's all. Especially with the bloodstain next to it. Oh, I do understand. In some ways, what we picture in our minds can be worse than reality. Suzo-san is so strong, though. She's taken this far better than I am. What's with the... Is that a doll? Oh, what's this? It would appear to be a little model policeman. It's rather charming, isn't it? In a way.
Seeing as it's on the floor here, do you think it belonged to Inspector Gregson? It's a little hard to imagine Lord Van Zeek's playing with something like this. It kinda would. It's only about 8 centimeters tall. It could have fallen out of someone's pocket, I suppose. I think we should record it as evidence, just in case. Yes, I agree. It's rather delightful after all, in a way. Okay, I got a police figure also in my core record. Can I inspect that? I can. The helmet of the charming policeman appears to be a little worse for wear. I'm not convinced about the charming part, but yes, you're right. The head part looks like it's been heavily manhandled. It's almost as if somebody has enjoyed twisting it around for fun. Should we try twisting it around in round 2? For fun? Oh. What the? What's that? It appears to be some sort of key. But it's tiny though. It could be a key for a door, not at that size. So what is it for, I wonder? Did not expect that. Okay. The candles? Top of one of the candles in this candle holder has been completely blown off. Yes, there's wax spatter on the wall behind. Look. I suppose if a bullet had hit it, it does seem likely that the bullet hit the candle, having first passed through the inspector's body. Ugh. Now the wax on the wall looks like blood to me. Okay, we're finding a lot of things at once here. Okay. What about the candles then? Anything particular about those? Yeah, I got burnt. There's some black marks here. Look. Yes, they look like some sort of scorch marks. So perhaps the bullet struck the candle here, do you think? It's only this one candle that's been cracked in half, it seems. Yes, I think you might be right. Firearms are rarely used by criminals in Japan, so I'm afraid I'm not particularly knowledgeable about them. Okay, is there anything else? No, not really. Nothing else of note on this thing. And then what's this? Ever since we came here, I can't take my eyes off this thing. Oh, funnily enough, neither can I. It's a hairpiece, isn't it? It is! A bright red hairpiece. And I suppose the fact that it's right there next to where the body was found means we have to accept that Inspector Gregson wore wigs, doesn't it? And in such a flame-colored red, too. Yes, that's a color we've come across very recently elsewhere, isn't it? Exactly. This is a vital clue, I'm sure of it. Presumably it belonged to Inspector Gregson. I don't think it's his. Hello, sir. Excuse me. If you're looking down on us from the great beyond, Inspector, don't worry. We'll look after things at the yard. I've interrupted some deep thoughts there. Oh. Somebody very haphazardly nailed down those boards over the broken glass, didn't they? You couldn't even really call it a window anymore. Well, if you remember the window in Mr. Natsume's room, that was totally blocked up with bricks. This one does at least let in some light. You could say nothing more about it. I'm starting to feel even more sorry for Mr. Natsume now. Okay, I think we've gone over everything. Is there really more to look at? Okay, probably best to avoid handling it, but... Gina, did you know about this gun? Gina, what do you make of this? What is that, evidence? We worked out what happened, have you? Oh, no, not exactly. I've been long enough in the job to get all this deductive business yet, but I swear I'm gonna get the person who did this to the boss. Oh. Okay.
Dom, hi Sin, how's your day going? It's going pretty good, how's yours? Just been chilling, you know, investigating crime scenes, because, well, you know, what else do you do on Tuesday, really? But it's good to see you, how you been? Well, let's check out here real quick, I haven't been here in a while. Oh, there's something going down here. Sin. I enjoy playing, like, watching you do some cart wars every now and then, it's fun. I'm doing alright, but at the doctor's right now? Oh, are you alright? Just a little bit sick. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you get better soon. And hopefully it's nothing too serious. Wishing for a speedy recovery for you, Sin. Hang in there. I'm glad you stopped by at least to say hi. Just get some little rest and you'll be fine. 1st November, British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. You've made good time. Oh, I took an express train back to London. I don't know who this is. I can hear Lord Strongheart. Can you? Yes, it sounds as though he's talking to someone. Oh! Is everything in place? I've had a private compartment on the train so I could check all the paperwork. It's Kazuma! Kazuma-sama! Ah, your timing is impeccable. It is? No doubt you have heard the sickening news about the Reaper's latest devilry. Yes. I'm sure you don't believe it, of course, though, Lord Strongheart. That Lord Van Zeeks could have done such a thing to Inspector Gregson. I believe only in the facts. And the facts in this case point to one thing. The unavoidable accusal of Lord Van Zeeks for this crime. We must bring charges against the Reaper for taking the life of our legendary detective. Oh no, surely not. It's a truly regrettable situation. Tomorrow the Forensic Science Symposium finally begins. At the very least, though, we can show the world our justice system with swift and equitable processes. So does that mean the trial's tomorrow? Precisely. In fact, this is a fine opportunity for introductions. Kazuma. He's back. Ah, but of course, you're already acquainted, aren't you? Mr. Asogi here will be present at tomorrow's proceedings. Leading the prosecution. Oh, I'm going up against him? Wait, what? Kazuma? As I'm sure you're aware, he's a very capable practitioner of law. Oh hey, we're in a Captain Levi. Yeah, oh yeah, turns out, John, he's not dead. Remember when we thought he died in, like, the second case of the first game? Turns out he's alive and only had amnesia. How about that? Also, hey John, how's it going, bro? And apparently now I'm going up against him. I knew he wasn't dead. No, you did not. There's no way. Kazuma-sama? The foreshadowing was painful, dude. What do you mean? I thought we saw him die, and then for some reason Sholmes lied about it. I don't know. Now Van Zeek's in jail, Gregson's dead. Too much stuff is happening. Kazuma-sama? A prosecutor? I'm sure you can imagine tomorrow's trial will be closely followed all over London. Sholmes didn't lie about it, he's an idiot. He said he didn't see something coming, like when he... Because apparently he told the crew to keep quiet about it, but I don't know what he didn't anticipate. I'm sure you can imagine that tomorrow's trial will be closely followed all over London. In fact, no. People all over the Empire will be watching closely to see how it unfolds.
There is no salvation for anyone in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper the Bailey. Now, the Reaper himself must stand in the dock. Quite so. The public want answers about the Reaper. Answers about how and why those who escaped conviction subsequently died mysterious deaths. But Lord Van Zeeks firmly denies any involvement in such matters. And there have been thorough investigations that have proven him to be innocent. That's certainly true. Or it has been, at least, until now. Ah! No, tomorrow's trial will mark the start of a new chapter in our country's great judicial history. So, Kazuma will be prosecuting tomorrow? That's right. But he's a defense lawyer, Lord Strongheart. Accomplished young law practitioners cannot pick and choose their roles. And imagine what it will mean for the prosecution to know the strategies commonly employed by the defense. A devastating combination, wouldn't you agree? Absolutely. I have no doubt at all that Kazuma will be razor sharp as a prosecutor. But why Kazuma-sama? Surely there are many other highly skilled prosecutors in Great Britain. It was a personal request. I asked to be assigned to the trial. You asked for this? But why? It'll all become clear tomorrow. I'm guessing you intend to stand for the defense, don't you? Although, the Reaper appears to be turning down all offers of representation. Yeah, he turned us down. I'm surprised such a personal request would have been upheld. It seems unprecedented, quite exceptional, in fact. You are quite right, Miss Mikitova. Tomorrow's trial will be unprecedented and exceptional in every way. Ah! After all, the accused is one of Britain's greatest prosecutors, the pride of the Empire. It would be unwise to give the public a reason to perceive it as the judiciary closing ranks. So that's why you're happy to let a foreigner handle the prosecution? Ryunosuke, let's see how your skills have been honed. After practicing law in this land for so many months. Kazuma, I don't understand why you're being so hostile to me now. This isn't gonna end well, my friend. Yeah, what the hell? I thought we were cool. Oh yes, we noticed that there was a gun at the scene of Inspector Gregson's death. Do you know if it belongs to Lord Van Zeeks? That would be a question for the lead detective investigating the scene. Well, the thing is, she wasn't sure, so she told me I should ask somebody higher up who might know. That's right, Mr. Naruhodo. Be direct. It's certainly a model that's issued to all personnel involved in law enforcement, yes. Which includes prosecutors, as I'm sure you can imagine. In that case, it could actually have belonged to the victim. No, Gregson has his gun on his person. What about Lord Van Zeeks? He claims it's currently not in his possession. What? According to his story, he lost it. In short, it's more than a little suspicious. But just because the gun in question is the same type as the defendant's is no proof that it's actually his. No, of course not. Nevertheless, the situation is grave for Lord Van Zeeks. Excuse me, sir. I'm gonna talk to my buddy here. So, whoops, I lost my cover. Yeah, no, really, I wouldn't see Lord Van Zeeks making that mistake. Just, like, carelessly losing his gun. It must have been stolen somehow. I don't believe for a second he lost it. I'm sorry for all the worry I caused you, but it'll be alright now. Has your memory completely returned? Yes, completely. I remember everything. Including what I was coming here to do. Right. Kazuma-sama. can't tell you how happy I am to see you alive and well like this. But how did you come to be here in London when you were suffering from amnesia?
It was the voice. This past year, I've been hearing it in my head constantly, saying the same thing over and over. Go to London. That's where your destiny awaits. It was that voice that guided me here to London.
I'm so sorry for what's happened.
Anyway, my memory might have returned to me. But there's something that won't return to the way it was before.
Huh? What do you mean?
I'm a prosecutor now, so I'm sure our paths will cross again very soon. Yeah, but Van Zee is still turning us down. It doesn't look like we're going to glean much more here.
Well, thank you very much, Lord Strongheart.
Remember, tomorrow's trial will go down in our Empire's history. There's much you can learn from the public gallery. Damn, dude.
Sorry to have taken up so much of your time. We'll see ourselves out.
Hold it!
Oh. Before you go, Ryunosuke.
What is it, Kazuma?
I just wanted to thank you.
Kazuma-sama, what?
You took my determination to heart and brought it with you over the ocean in my stead. And you carried out my role to perfection.
You always were intent on studying British law in order to change your own justice system. It was your dream, and Mr. Naruhodo didn't want that to die with you.
Yes, but I had another purpose for coming here.
Oh.
I actually have a favor to ask.
Which is?
This trial I'll be prosecuting tomorrow. I'd like you to be there to see how it ends. Right in front of me. As the defense counsel.
Why? What's this all about?
I know you have what it takes.
But Lord Van Zeeks would never put his faith in my hands.
On the contrary, he recognizes your talent. He does? He kind of told me to fuck off earlier. It's not easy to see behind the facade sometimes. Here, have a look at this. Oh.
That's Lord Van Zeeks and Inspector Gregson. A photograph that must have been taken by some time ago by the look of it. And who's the third person?
It was displayed very prominently in the detective's office.
In Gregson's office, you mean?
Yes, what I'm trying to say is, if you really think you can trust the Reaper, you might find that some straight talking makes him take a different view. Take it. Alright, that's probably how we get him to open up.
I don't understand. Why are you giving me this?
Just hurry, Ryunosuke. Visiting hours at the prison are almost over.
What are you doing, Kazuma?
Alright, well, guess we know where we need to go. Hey, buddy, you cooled down a little? You finally learned to be my friends? It is like, oh god, not you again.
Alright. 1st November, local cell number 1. Lord Van Zeeks is still reading that letter. We've been gone for quite some time, though. Either he's an incredibly slow reader, or it's an incredibly long letter. I might be able to read English faster than he can.
You know I can hear you, right?
I was intending to ignore you entirely.
Whoops.
But I can't turn down a deaf ear to such an insulting Nipponese. Oh, sorry, I didn't think you'd hear that. I had the case notes brought to me in secret. I was reading them to pass the time. Yes, we've heard that your trial is set for tomorrow. Which is none of your business. So, have you found a lawyer? How many times must I reiterate the same thing? This has nothing to do with you. In other words, no. You were just talking to Lord Strongheart and the prosecutor for your trial has been decided. I expect nothing less, though I have no idea who it is. It's going to be Kazuma Asogi. Asogi? Oh, he is not happy about that. That made the color drain from his face. Yeah, your apprentice is going to prosecute you. Well then. It seems I'm going to have to engage in conversation with you again after all. "10 years ago, my older brother, who was the director of prosecutions at the time, was murdered. And the killer, as you know, was a visiting student from the Far East. Not a single day goes by when I don't curse the name Asogi. Genshin Asogi was Kazuma-sama's father. So, what a cruel twist of fate this is now, 10 years later. The man's son is to crucify me in some kangaroo court. I still don't understand why Lord Strongheart apprenticed Kazuma to you. It's what he does. No doubt he knew of the young man's true identity from the outset. But what could he have been hoping to achieve? And let's not forget that it was only 8 days ago that Kazuma recovered from his amnesia. Why would Lord Strongheart assign this trial to somebody like that? Asogi. That name is the very epitome of my bane. The bane that is you Nipponese. Right, your hatred of all is Japanese. I'd only just been appointed a prosecutor when it happened 10 years ago. My brother Clint, the director of prosecutions, was hunting down a mass murderer. The so-called professor, assigned to the investigation team as his partner, was a certain visiting student dispatched from Scotland Yard. And that was Genshin Asogi. Exactly. I developed a deep respect for the man. He seemed noble-minded and chivalrous in the extreme to me. But none of us saw the true nature of the man. So I lost everything when it happened. My esteemed brother, the people I believed in, and any semblance of right prevailing over wrong. Oh, how awful. To avenge my brother, I prosecuted in Asogi's trial. He wouldn't ordinarily have been allowed, but I obliged the ascribed prosecutor until he consented. What do you mean by the ascribed prosecutor? The man in charge of the professor case inquiry. Lord Male Strongheart. Oh. Wait, what? Lord Strongheart? He was in charge of that case. He was a highly accomplished prosecutor, but he agreed to relinquish the trial to me and act as my advisor instead. Since that time, he's the one person to whom I felt indebted. I'm sure he must have seen your zeal for the case and recognized your potential as a prosecutor. Anyway, time passed, but then earlier this year, who should arrive in London but you? Ah, and of all things, as a lawyer. I felt your animosity the first time I ever faced you in the courtroom. Your obviously deep loathing of us Japanese. I kept telling myself it was illogical. But for so many years, that hatred festered inside of me. I could no longer control it. And I can understand why. Now I know the history. But in the same way that I've long felt the Nipponese to be the bane of my life, to Kazuma Asogi, I am the bane of his, the Reaper who sent his father to the gallows. He's looking for revenge, and he intends to take it in the court tomorrow. I don't think he'd really do that, though. Gregson's transfer to the Paris Police Prefecture had been finally arranged for the coming month, but he'll never make it to France now. It's a tragedy. Oh yes, come to think of it, he did mention something about that, didn't he? I wonder, does it happen often? Being transferred internationally, I mean? It's the first time I've ever encountered it. Oh. The Paris police welcoming an English detective is almost inconceivable. I can't imagine what kind of magic Gregson must have had worked to put that arrangement in place. It sounds like that mystery has even the Reaper perplexed. I'm afraid to say that we were very ignorant about Inspector Gregson's standing. We hear that he was considered something of a legend at Scotland Yard. Again, it was 10 years ago that he first made a name for himself, by uncovering a decisive piece of evidence that exposed the professor's identity. If it wasn't for Gregson's singular approach to the case, the discovery would never have been made. What sort of approach? After my brother's life was taken, the inspector pushed for a full autopsy. Oh my, 10 years ago? Why is that so surprising? Autopsy was considered a desecration of the body at the time, and rarely performed. And my brother was of course a noble. That made the idea of it even more unthinkable. But something Gregson had dug up in his investigations made him determined it was necessary. His powerful convictions somehow influenced the House of Lords, and as a result, I could avenge my brother's death. So, you must have had great confidence in the inspector's abilities then. It's even more inconceivable that you would have had taken his life. Yeah. I don't have the confidence in anyone. Oh. And I'm sure Gregson felt the same way. I've no doubt he thought of me as only the ominous Reaper, just like the rest of London. What really went on between Lord Van Zieks and Gregson, I wonder? What was the true nature of their relationship? About the gun used to shoot the inspector that was found at the scene. Ah yes, that's not mine. Really? Because common opinion seems to be that it is. What do you expect me to say to that? Lord Strongheart informs us that you must have misplaced your firearm. As embarrassing as that is, I'm afraid it's true. When did you lose it then? That, I don't know. Oh. I was issued with a revolver when I first became a prosecutor 10 years ago. I must have stowed it away somewhere, I suppose. Or left it somewhere, perhaps. You have something in common with Lord Van Zieks after all, Mr. Naruhodo. A talent for misplacing things. Great. No. This has nothing to do with me. Don't drag me into it. Don't make the mistake of associating me with this Nipponese. Oh dear. The rift is very wide, isn't it? So it's not decisive evidence, clearly. But it doesn't look good, that's for sure. Yeah. The gun is not definitively his, but since he lost his, we can't really say otherwise. That kind of sucks. Alright, let's show him this. Maybe it'll make him open up a little bit more to us. Oh, hang on, I have the run button. Oh, I have to present it to him. That's right. I have to go back. There we go. Gotta do it here. Lord Van Zieks, we came by this old photograph. Where did you get that? It was taken when I first became a qualified prosecutor. It's almost unbelievable. I assume it was long lost. Is the man on the left there? Yes, that's my brother, Clint. It had to be, really. That's what I figured. Apparently this picture was prominently displayed in Gregson's office. He had a deep respect for you, you know. Were you aware of that? Respect? That's nonsense! No, we've heard someone attest to it very clearly. Inspector Gina Lestrade, no less. Well, maybe once, yes. There was a time when things were like that. We were both brothers in arms, jovially discussing the future of justice and other such lofty subject matter. That was a nice glimpse of the past. I thank you. Feels though I got a nice glimpse of the past then, too. There was a glimmer of light in his eyes, a brief twinkle. An insight into the true nature of this man, known to all as the stone-cold Reaper of the Bailey. Mr. Naruhodo. He called me by my name for once! Oh, that's the first time he's ever used my actual name! I've lost all confidence in my country's justice system. I don't trust the police, the judiciary, or lawyers. But there's still one thing I'm willing to believe in. What's that? That which you see in the eyes of another across the courtroom. A simple determination to know the truth. Lord Van Zeeks! From the very first time we clashed in the Bailey almost a year ago now, I couldn't deny it, even though I dearly wished I could. Here is a loathsome Nipponese, who has absolute integrity as a lawyer. There's only two other men I've known with that same look in their eyes. My brother Clint and Genshin Asogi. The man he idolized and the man who betrayed his trust in the most hideous way. When you showed me that photograph just now, it reminded me. You mean this photograph? Back when I was able to laugh, I was free of the shackles of mistrust that plague me now. I looked to the future with hope. Since then, I protected myself against the betrayal by refusing to trust anyone. But at times, the mire into which I have sunk makes it almost impossible to breathe. I'm so sorry. So, Mr. Naruhodo, I want to believe in that look in your eyes. I need to believe in it. In tomorrow's trial, will you advocate for me? Of course I will. It would be an honor. I'm so pleased, Mr. Naruhodo. Then my life is in your hands. For Lord Van Zeeks, that must have been an incredibly hard thing to ask, which is why I simply could not let the man down. Tomorrow, in the Old Bailey, against my old friend, Kazuma. Jesus Christ, this just keeps getting better and better. Wow. Alright. Yeah, that investigation went on for quite a while, so I think it's pretty good to stop there, but Jesus Christ. I'm still kind of stumped though, because this, like I said earlier, this feels like final case, like, material. This feels like something they would say for case 5, but it's on 4. I'm thinking, like, what could possibly top this? That's a lot to digest. Maybe the case 4 is a 2-parter? That could possibly be the case, too. Because right now we have very little to go off of. All we know is that Van Zeeks and Gregson were in a room. Gregson was found dead there. Van Zeeks was apprehended, and that's it. And there was like a few witnesses that saw him. So we don't really have a whole lot to work with, per se.
Well, I guess we'll just have to find out when we go to court next time I play this game. So, in that case, now that we stop here, let's see, who can I go raid into today? I'm excited though. This case looks like it's going in a very, very dramatic direction. I can't wait to see what kind of direction that is. Toki and Lucky are alive right now? Okay. Damn, I'm pulling up Twitch on my phone, which is very little janky. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, you know what? I can go say hi to Lucky. It's been quite a while. So why the heck not? Regardless, thank you guys for joining me for Great Ace Attorney. I hope you guys... I know I said this last time, but I hope you guys are really liking the story. I think it's like this is getting really good. Like finishing off Case 3 last time when I played this game was fantastic. And now this is starting off with a bang, and I'm loving it so far. So yeah, thanks for sticking around. I'm going to try to do some more Persona 5 tomorrow, where I'm going to tackle one of the final dungeons, I think. I don't know how many are left in Royal, but I'm going to be going on a boat in that game. Oh, no, I didn't mean to shout out. No, I didn't mean to shout out. I meant to do a raid. Oops.
I'm gonna try throwing.
Oh, that's who you're gonna go see. That's a sneak preview. Also, I don't know why Nightbot's not showing up with a message. That's weird. Alright, let's do this. Oop.
He's still in.
Right now, they're doing some Tears of the Kingdom action right now, so let's go say hi. And with that, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Fare thee well.